Yo, what's poppin', gamers? Welcome back to a brand new Bad Business video, and today we're gonna be talking about the biggest problems with Bad Business at the moment. And that's besides the point of the big things like the rank system and unlocking weapons. That's besides that, so that will not be on this list. But I do want to point out the stuff that are decently easy to fix that I think really adds a big issue with the game at the moment. First, we're just gonna get into the weapons recently. The first one I want to point out is the Sten 762 is ridiculously strong. And don't get me wrong, I am using it right now and I love the Sten, but it's too strong. It's way too powerful. It definitely needs to give you more vertical recoil. I would say the second biggest issue that we have right now is just gun balancing in general. A lot of gun balancing for a lot of the weapons in the game take too long to release. For example, the SMO3 was a problem for like an entire month almost. It just progressively got worse because more and more players started using it as the time went on. But it was always good. That's the thing. But the reason why it was too good and it randomly just popped up is when they did that massive gun balancing where most assault rifles got kind of nerfed from range and SMGs got some speed boosts and also some damage range buffs. And the SMO3 got the massive update when it comes to that. And they took forever to fix it. And I still think till this day that it's still not even in a good place. And then you have things like the G36 where they quite literally took like a year and a half to even balance that weapon. And in the end they did, though I don't know why they just didn't do it sooner. It seems like they're really scared to balance low rank weapons. It's like they try to stay away from all the low rank weapons because they're very good. Another massive thing when it comes to these low rank weapons, pretty much every single weapon that was in the prototype of the game, the first original OG weapons that was in Bad Business, all give you massive amount of flinch. What I mean by that is if like bullets fly past you while you're shooting, you'll have a little bit of flinch while you're shooting at them. It'll give you more recoil, camera shake, etc. And especially when you get shot by them while you're shooting at them, it's going to give you even more flinch. So that's a stat that's on most of the OG weapons of Bad Business, but there really isn't a big emphasis on the newer weapons. And that's terrible balancing. Like seriously, they need to look into this because it's 100% a stat on all these new old weapons. And if they're going to have that, other weapons have to also have a flinch mechanic like that because it's ridiculous. Like I can go way back in the prototype video days and I already talked about this, how the flinch was very bad and it used to be really like worse than it is now. It used to be really bad, but that same exact stat on those weapons is still in this game till this day, but these newer weapons don't really have that. Definitely need to look into that. Another weapon that I think needs to be balanced ASAP is the Taurus Judge, man. I've had a few people, kill me with this. One of them mainly being BDM because he's currently going for the Blue Diamond, 10,000 kills on it. And this thing is ridiculous, dude. It does massive damage for a pistol for medium range. Like it will literally hit you lower than half HP from medium range. That shouldn't be happening. It is a pistol. It should be weaker than the actual shotguns in the game. Should be very strong up close though, like barrel stuffing, but you should not be getting half HP from medium. I do have one thing on this list that we really need to talk about, and a lot of good players and try-hard players are going to be very mad at me for even bringing up. So we're going to leave that at the end of this section of the list. But the next thing I want to talk about is like our upcoming revamps. And one of them is the Remington shotgun, the pump shotgun in the game. And I'm very worried since all these other games are getting ammo types that shotguns are also going to get slug types. And that could mean that we're going to be getting sniped across map by shotguns. And I'm not excited for this. If they go down this route, I promise on everything, any player that had played PF, they're gonna have PTSD. Like I'm just gonna have deja vu. It's gonna happen all over again. That was the downfall of Phantom Forces. That was the start of everything, and everything got worse after that. Yeah, hopefully that's something I'm super worried about. Hopefully that doesn't happen. The next thing is something I've been talking about for the longest time. There is no decrease in speed when you use your melee. Like, I think you should run faster with the melee out, but when you swing it, when you go to knife, you should be slowed down. Because if you don't realize it, if you are chasing somebody and they're just running with their weapon out, right, they can't do anything against you because you're going full speed just spamming left click. The best they can do is try to pull out their knife in time to be able to get stay slightly ahead of you because you guys run the same amount of speed. But the second that you try to pull out that weapon to defend yourself, you're gonna die most likely. Doesn't happen all the time, but they have a much higher advantage than you do trying to kill them. That needs to be adjusted. I don't know why it's still in the game till this day. I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. Now, this next one is controversial, and a lot of people are gonna be upset about this. Some people might be okay with it. Riot shields. Either they need to have a slower like pull-out time, because switching to it is quite literally instant. So if you're shooting at somebody that has it on their back, right, you're not shooting them below it or above it in the head, you're only going to be hitting their riot shield. So they have the advantage there, and that's fine. I think that should be in the game. It's a very popular thing in Call of Duty. But the thing is, in COD, there is a slow, swap time for it, okay? It takes a little bit of time, so you can't just instantly press it and turn around and block all those shots incoming. So these riot shielders that have it on their back are instantly getting cover, and how this game works, pretty difficult to take out a riot shielder because they can also run pretty quick with the riot shield out and melee you. So if they turn around, they're gonna just turn around and melee you with it. And this increasingly got worse after insta heal was nerfed. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if you want that swap speed to your riot shield, you should be equipping attachments on your primary in order to swap your weapons faster. That should be a thing if you want to be able to swap to your riot shield that quick. Because right now it's instant. On their screen, they're pulling out pretty slow, but on your screen, when you're shooting them, the cover's already up. So you can't do anything. So that needs to be worked on. All right, this next thing is, I'm not trying to be offensive to the devs or anything, but this next thing is ridiculous. Maps. Last 3 maps you guys released, absolutely terrible. They could be good at times. It really depends on the team balancing. I will say the map designs, except for containers or whatever that shipwreck, whatever it's called, that map, it's pretty basic. So I can't really say the detail and all that's nice. But on the last 2 Mayday and Homestead, I think it was, those 2 maps, the detail is very nice. I really like the vibe of Homestead, but the issue is it's a counter to your game. It doesn't feel right for Bad Business. Now, keep in mind that I'm actually starting to enjoy it more because I'm starting to use like the little routes that they have around the map where you can go underground and stuff like that. I'm starting to enjoy it more and more I play it, but it still isn't an ideal map because there's still bad spawns. There's a lot of issues when it comes to these new maps. The spawns aren't great. And then they have another new map that's probably going to come out this Friday that is going to be even worse. I don't know. The maps recently have been a massive flop for the game. Yeah, and sadly, I do see the maps not going to be getting any better as far as I've seen so far. I will say the Homestead map, I am enjoying it, like I said. But it still doesn't fit the game. I'd love for you guys to leave your comments down below on all the topics I talk about, everything that I did say in the video. I know there's going to be people that are against almost everything I said, but that's okay. That's your guys' opinion. I'm just going over the stuff that I've personally been experiencing a lot recently, so that's why I have these opinions on this stuff. But I don't think I went wrong when it comes to like the gun balancing recently, the maps, and some of the revamps that, like the shotgun, for example, that is kind of scaring me. I didn't bring up the M231 because you guys already know my issues with that. Should have been either attachments for the M16 or just not put in the game, and it shouldn't have been an LMG in the first place. All right, that's all I had to say. If you guys would like to leave some comments down below, your opinions, or if there's anything that I missed that you feel like is wrong with the game, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Try not to argue with each other, and you can also put your opinions, and I will respect your opinions. Obviously, you can't agree with me on everything. I don't expect you to. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for the support recently on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out.